Ford Fox College Hoops pregame, sponsored by Ford. Go further. And tonight from the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska, the 1-0 Creighton Bluejays meet up with the 0-1 Kansas City Kangaroos. And a happy Veterans Day to you, and a hearty thank you to all who have served our nation. We appreciate your service on Veterans Day and every day. Alongside the coach, Kevin O'Neill, I'm Kevin Kugler. Big East basketball on Fox Sports 1 tonight from Omaha, Nebraska. And the Creighton Bluejays at 1-0 on the season. We get the chance to see one of the more experienced teams in the Big East. And coach, we get a chance to see one of the best players in the country.
I was lucky. I got to see 2 days of practice with these guys. Doug McDermott is a bona fide All-American. He's a superstar at the college level. He is a great teammate with absolutely no ego. On top of that, one of the most skilled players in the country. He is the entire package, a bona fide guy.
The Jays have a lot of expectation going into this new college basketball season. Their fans are fired up. We are too. College basketball coming next on FS1. Creighton Bluejays getting ready to go from the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. Alongside Kevin O'Neill, I'm Kevin Kugler. Welcome back on Fox Sports 1. Little Big East basketball tonight as we take a look at the opponent for the Creighton Bluejays, Missouri, Kansas City, and their head coach, Kareem Richardson. First season as the head man in Kansas City, assistant with Rick Pitino at Louisville last year. We're going to see his beginnings to get that style implemented in Kansas City tonight as Greg McDermott getting set to go in his 4th season as Creighton head coach. An impressive 81-30 record for Coach McDermott. The Jays opening up their first year in the Big East Conference. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for these two squads. Kansas City with Harrison, Williams, Kirksey, Hall, and Chapman. That's their 5. It's not a big lineup, but it is a lineup that they hope will be athletic. Chapman, Manigat, Gibbs, McDermott, and Artino, the lineup for the Creighton Bluejays, and a lot of experience on that Creighton side.
Well, from the coaches through the players, it's experience versus rebuilding. First-year coach in Kareem trying to implement his style. You got Greg, who's already entrenched, got experience. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Kangaroos. They just got to play well from the beginning and play hard.
They moved to the WAC this year, does Missouri Kansas City. Spent the last several years in the Summit League. So was conference realignment hit. It hit both of these schools, and of course the Creighton Bluejays, proud new members of the Big East Conference. Will Artino will jump against Fred Chapman. Chapman at 6'9", Artino at 6'11", and we're underway in Omaha. And Austin Chapman, the junior guard, will bring it up for the Blue Jays. This Creighton squad won 107-61 over Alcorn State in their opener. And there's McDermott, the free throw line jumper is good. He can hurt you almost anywhere, can't he, Coach?
Well, he's not just a shooter, he's a scorer. They attacked the zone really well. They got it in the paint on the dribble and pass, and got an easy basket.
Here's Chapman in the corner, and Chapman a little too strong, battling for the rebound. Kirksey has it taken away by Grant Gibbs. Gibbs will push, and it's picked right out of his hands. Here comes Harrison to the other end, and Harrison with the layup to tie it at 2.
They want to play fast. You see them in their 2-2-1 press right now. They'll probably go back zone out of it. They want to get the tempo in their favor and make Creighton be uncomfortable.
Once Creighton breaks it, though, numbers as Gibbs a little bit short. And Missouri, Kansas City going the other way with Harrison. An electric freshman, they really like that kid. Hall at the top hits the 3, and Trinity Hall with his second made 3 of this young season in the early lead for the Kangaroos.
They're not messing around. They're pushing the ball. They're not playing afraid. They're ready to go right at Creighton.
How much of what you've seen early from the Kangaroos is reminiscent of what Rick Pitino likes to do, albeit with probably a little better athletic skill in Louisville?
I think that obviously they're trying to play like Rick plays. Kareem was with him for a while. What they got to make sure is they make those shots, because now here comes Creighton the other way.
Kirksey with the long 3, no good, and now Chapman to Artino. Good pass down low, and McDermott all alone for an easy 2.
Playing fast is great if you're making. If you're missing, it's hard to get back in transition and take away easy baskets.
And a travel, the turnover by Trinity Hall, the senior from Kansas City. Some good ball movement, and the big man getting involved.
Great throw ahead, touch pass down low to McDermott. That's really a nice play in transition.
Will Artino, who started that with the assist. Coach McDermott says they're going to need him to play a much bigger role this season. They only lost from last year Gregory Echenike, the big man in the post.
But he was so much a part of their team defensively and on the boards that Will's going to have to play well for him.
McDermott, great patience from Doug McDermott to hit his first three.
He is really skilled. You know, regardless of size, he's one of the best in the country.
He has all 7 of Creighton's points, and the turnover right back to the Kangaroos. The patience here, Coach, to let the traffic go by.
Great job, and you know what? A great job by Grant Gibbs to drag the defense down. Gibbs assists on 30% of McDermott's baskets over the last 2 years. He's got a nose for finding the right guy.
Well, you got to imagine Greg McDermott was rather excited in July when they got the phone call and said, oh, by the way, you're getting Grant Gibbs back for a 6th year.
Happy 4th of July.
McDermott in the corner again. Cannot connect there, but a good offensive rebound by Manigat. Able to keep it alive once more, and the Jays battling hard on the boards, and McDermott finishes with 2 more. All 9 points tonight for Doug McDermott. Good feed inside and a block by Artino. Chapman the other way. Chapman having to back it out a little bit. And now McDermott had the hot hand early.
Chapman's not going to turn it over much. Almost 2-to-1 ratio assist to turnover.
And good defensive play by Kirksey to get in the way of that one, deflecting it off McDermott, and it's out of bounds. 7-0 run for the Blue Jays to open up the 9-5 lead, and the first substitution brings Isaac Crewer off the bench for the Kangaroos.
He's a freshman in their exhibition in first game, 9 fouls in 17 minutes. So what he's got to do is make sure he stays a little bit better under control so he can help these guys out.
It's a very young team, but it's a mix. You've got some of those guys who were with the previous regime and a lot of freshmen that are just all learning Kareem Richardson's new system together.
One thing Kareem's going to do, though, he's going to put his stamp on the culture. He's going to play the way he wants, fast and with pressing, and then he'll get guys to fit into it.
Johnson at the top for 3. And the rebound inside for the Jays as Chapman will start it up. Chapman going coast to coast. The layup is good for Austin Chapman.
He does a really good job of reading situations in transition and in the half court. Some players are able to do that one or the other. He does both.
Harrison the long 2. And a push inside against Crewer. And there's what you were talking about, Kevin. The foul problems that young Isaac Crewer has had early.
You know, it's really hard as a freshman just to make this jump to the next level. In his situation, they need him on the front line, especially to battle people like Creighton. But he's a little bit too enthusiastic.
Frank Williams and Martez Harrison check out. Back to the bench for UMKC. John Burke, the 6'3 sophomore, onto the floor, along with Aaron Washington, a 6-foot senior. Washington's guarding Chapman up the floor.
They're really trying to make him speed up and then run him back and getting in that zone.
Artino going to work against Crewer. And Artino taking the youngster to school.
That was a great attack to get to the short corner, get the bounce pass down to the baseline, and an easy opportunity.
Kirksey open 3, and Nelson Kirksey breaks the 11-0 Blue Jay run.
What they're going to have to do in order to hang in this game is slow themselves down just a little bit in the half court, fine to push it, just make sure they do get good shots.
Well, the All-American Doug McDermott has come to play early tonight. 9 points for McDermott to pace the Creighton Blue Jays to an early 13-8 lead. Creighton 13, Kansas City 8, 15:24 remaining in the first half. Tonight's Inspired Performance Spotlight is brought to you by Infinity. And I have a feeling, Kev, he's going to be in the spotlight more than once this year.
He, as a player and as a person, is, as we were talking about in the open, perfect package, but he makes everybody on the team better. He is a fantastic passer. He's a guy that's a willing passer. He's going to see some double teams. Even tonight, I think they'll double team him a little bit in the post. He'll give it up. He wants his teammates to be involved.
4 for 5 early for Doug McDermott. He's got 9 points. And the Jays off to the 13-8 lead. Gibbs with a couple of early turnovers. for the Blue Jays. They have 3 turnovers, 5 assists in the early going. Here's McDermott for 3, and he hits it again. Doug McDermott, 2 for 2 tonight, and 4 for 5 from behind the arc to start the season.
And they're playing with their smaller lineup with Rogge at the 4 spot and McDermott at the 5.
And the rebound now for McDermott. And Manigat will push. And the defense rips it out of his hands. Aaron Washington going the other way. Well, it's short. Washington able to get his own board.
Manigat's got to be careful trying to attack a crowded court from the top in transition. Stop at the foul line. You got a lot of weapons around you.
Benefit for the Jays. You see a lot of pressing teams early in the season. This will help them down the road.
You know, I don't know how much pressing they'll see in the Big East either, but anytime you can see a different defense, it's good for you.
Brewer inside, lost the ball. Gibbs able to rip it out of his hands. That's what Grant Gibbs does best. Gives it up to Manigat. McDermott in the corner for 3. Can't get the roll.
Gibbs is their glue guy. All the little things, all the dirty things, he does them all.
Long 3 for Johnson, and Caleb Johnson hits the 3. First made bucket tonight for Johnson.
No hesitation on Kansas City's part. They're going right at it.
Chapman trying to answer. Cannot find the range, and the rebound by Brewer. Kansas City just 36% from the floor in the early going. That miss makes them 4 for 12 on the night. Chapman, oh, nice behind the back. Driving into the defense, got a little out of control. McDermott there to scoop it up, and he gets the roll.
Chapman can get to the paint almost anytime he wants. He's pretty reliable. When he gets hurried a little bit, he doesn't make great decisions. You just got to be careful to stay on his feet.
Washington will start it up to Kirksey. Kirksey got into some foul trouble in their loss to Emporia State on Friday. Had 4 fouls in 22 minutes. Johnson back it inside. It's his own. Johnson on the drive. Can't find the range. And inside taken away by Ethan Rogge. Gibbs wraps it around to McDermott. And the tie-up is called. Possession arrow will give it back to the Kangaroos.
It's a good call. They're getting a lot of push. McDermott gets it down low right there. That's when he's got to give it up back to the top for a wide open 3. Not that he isn't trying to do the right thing, he's just forced it a little bit.
Massive substitutions. Jays bring in Avery Dingman, a 6'6 junior guard, Isaiah Zierden, 6'2 freshman guard, and a junior college transfer in Devin Brooks that they're really excited about in the backcourt.
I like this guy right here. He's going to do something here.
And a foul is called. He transferred in from Iowa Western Community College, which is right next door in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I think McDermott will leave and Zach Hansen will come in.
I think Devin Brooks is a guy that can really add some athleticism and exciting play, not only in the full court, but in the half court. He's got to defend better, but he could be valuable for them by the time they get to the Big East season.
Well, in his opener, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Last guy to have a stat line like that in the opener for the Creighton Bluejays, Benoit Benjamin in 1984.
Flash from the past.
And the block inside, but a foul. Ethan Rogge coming over to try to close that one out, but he picks up the foul.
I think right now Kareem Richardson's got to be pretty pleased with his team. They're pushing. They're making pretty good decisions. This is how they play. And the culture he set out to make them play that way, they're doing it for him.
Well, this is a program that has really decided to invest in basketball down in Kansas City. It's not a bad idea because that is a very talent-rich area, and they're the only team in the Metro.
And they've already recruited very well. I saw a list of their commitments. They're all top 150, 200 players. So Kareem's doing a heck of a job already.
And they've moved back. They're playing in the old Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City, a building that's hosted more Final Four games than any other building in the nation. A little tradition just with that building. And Zierden with the 3 way off the mark.
Somebody close that door.
The lob inside, and it's a little too long for Fred Chapman, and the Kangaroos turn it right back over as they head to the bench, down by 6 with 11:56 to play in the first half in Omaha. Kevin Kugler alongside Kevin O'Neill, 18-12 remaining. The score for Creighton leading by 6, 11:56 remaining in the first half. And UMKC has got Creighton a little bit out of their comfort level here as you look at the turnover numbers.
Well, they have. Creighton only had 6 turnovers the entire first game they played. They've already got 6. They've got a couple of air balls to go with that, which is really 8. So they're doing their job in terms of trying to make Creighton uncomfortable. Now let's hope this pressure in the dead ball situation helps them do more of that.
Devin Brooks, the Harlem native. Washington right on his hip, and Brooks airmails that one towards Zierden, but well out of play.
He must have seen one of those scouts over there he didn't like very well. That was a tough pass. If he just makes a jump stop in a two-handed pass, he had the right pass. One-handed, left-handed, it's tough.
I assume you'd prefer he go after a ref and not a scout.
Well, you know what? They should, especially with the way they're calling the games these days.
Williams, and the rebound to Brooks.
That was a great contest by Dingman coming out.
Brooks, nice feed inside. Hansen cannot finish. And a foul looking for the rebound. Ethan Raggi reaches in and gets his second personal foul.
We're going to see it right here with Zach Hansen. He doesn't take his shoulder through the guy, so he just gets bumped out of the way. He's a freshman. But I think he's going to be a really fine player for them down the line. He's got size, athleticism. He does a good job of finding other guys on the court. He's pretty skilled. He just got to get a little stronger and tougher down there.
He sits down as Artino and McDermott return to the lineup for the Blue Jays. Here's Kirksey on the drive, and Kirksey brings the Kangaroos within 4. They are not the least bit intimidated at this point against the Jays.
No, Kirksey's a good athlete and he's an experienced player.
Dingman can't connect on the 3.
This is what Kansas City wants. Quick shot, right back down the floor.
Hall with the pull-up. And a foul underneath. Artino and Chapman got locked up down low. And Will Artino with his first personal foul.
See, with Raggi already having 2 fouls, Artino's an important guy now. He's got to stay in the game.
Raggi on the bench, still shaking his head after his second foul.
Players never believe they foul. We all know that.
Kirksey around the whole screen.
Creighton's having to guard at least 2 ball screens on every possession in the half court. Kansas City's doing a good job.
16 to shoot as Kirksey lets it fly, and he hits the 3, and Kansas City within 1.
Got to a 3rd ball screen that time and got a wide open shot off it.
And another steal and another Creighton turnover. Here comes Harrison to the other end. Martez Harrison gives Kansas City the lead on the road.
It's quiet in here right now.
An 8-0 run will settle a lot of people down.
They've done a good job.
And a foul in the backcourt on Martez Harrison. Kansas City pushing things a little bit. And the Kangaroos with the lead.
Here's the 3rd ball screen that leads to a wide open shot. They get into their press, force a turnover, and a really good finish right here. Almost gets a 3-point play.
Then you saw on the other end, though, Harrison picking up his second personal foul, and that's what plagued him on Friday in their loss to Emporia State. Turnovers and foul problems.
And he's an important guy for him because he makes them go.
True freshman came out of Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, which has put a lot of guys into Division I basketball ranks.
Yes, they have. A lot of those prep schools in New England have. Their zone's pretty good, too. They're not giving up any open shots.
Chapman having some trouble finding some room inside. McDermott backing out for 3. And the rebound pulled down by Trinity Hall.
Man advantage. McDermott fell down.
Can they take advantage? They cannot. Manigat with a steal. McDermott was running way up front. He couldn't find him.
It's because he never made it back.
Manigat for 3. And again, Jays cannot connect from long range. Creighton now just 2 of 8 from 3 after starting off red hot with Doug McDermott.
You know what happens sometimes is I'm sure Creighton's players, not their coaches, but their players are thinking, we're going to win this game. They lost to Emporia State at home, and they come out a little soft, and now they got, hit a couple times. Kansas City's had a real hit-first mentality.
Here's Hall knifing in against McDermott, and he got the foul. Trinity Hall showing some good athleticism there.
Well, you see him right here. He gets an isolation on the top, and he goes right at Doug McDermott. One of the things Doug's going to have to get better at is spacing quickness and being able to guard the ball. Because the next level he's going to hit, there's a lot of guys like Trinity Hall and better.
Kansas City has held the Jays scoreless for nearly 5 minutes of game action as Hall misses the free throw. 0 for 4 from the floor during that time.
What they've been doing a good job of is contesting and not giving up any open shots, making it be contested twos, nothing easy in transition, and then rebounding the basketball.
Second attempt for Trinity Hall. 1 for 2 in that trip to the line.
Kareem did a great job. He substituted on the foul line to get a stoppage in play, and now their press is set, and they're able to go ahead and put a lot better pressure on when it's stopped than when it's on the move.
Nelson Kirksey, though, picks up the foul.
I'm not sure who fouled.
Much more difficult with the new rules in college basketball is a pressing style of defense going to be?
I think people will adjust to the hand check rule. The rule I hate is the block charge rule. There's actually no more charge in the game anymore.
Gibbs inside, and Gibbs will work his way to the line. When you say there's no more charge anymore, kind of explain, what are you talking about?
I had a game the other night where 4 different times it was, by the old rule, definite charge. Now they're reffing the offense, in my mind, instead of the defense, which gives them an opportunity to call everything a block and not many charges.
Of course, the goal of that is to improve the offense in the game.
Improve scoring.
Yeah.
No. I don't see what's wrong with a 63-62 game. If it's a good game, it doesn't matter what the score is.
Gibbs hits the free throw, 1 for 2 on that trip. I agree with you on the hand checking. Players they'll just not foul.
No, they'll adjust to that.
And there's a turnover by Frank Williams.
Think about this, on the first night alone, there were 5 games nationwide where the teams combined to shoot more than 50 free throws. That's a lot of games and a lot of fouls.
Kangaroos were 1. They shot 53 on Friday.
And lost.
Set a school record at 14 steals, shot 53 free throws, and lost the game by 5 to Emporia State.
If you said those stats, you'd never dream they lost.
No. Chapman for the lead. Rebound inside by Artino, and he gets the Jays back on top.
It's not really Chapman's game. He's got to get in the paint and get the rest of these guys some shots.
Chapman on the other end for the Roos, no good. And Austin Chapman, no relation, starts up the floor.
They can get that ball top side a few times and then get it in the paint.
Artino with the air ball, leaping up to grab it is Kirksey. McDermott down 5 on 4 if they hurry. Johnson banks it home.
He called that. You saw him say bank.
I think he's still saying it, shaking his head as he runs up the floor. McDermott inside, going to work deep in the low block, gets the 2. And we've got a injury. Caleb Johnson feeling a little pain after that one, but the Kangaroos feeling pretty good on the road. 7:21 remaining in this first half, and the offense of the Roos has come to play tonight with a little defense thrown in and a tie ball game. 23 apiece, 7:21 remaining in the first half in Omaha, Nebraska. Tomorrow, it's a Big East basketball doubleheader on Fox Sports 1, beginning with Grambling State taking on Devontae Gardner and the 17th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles, followed by Tennessee taking on the Xavier Musketeers. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on your new home for Big East basketball, Fox Sports 1. Kevin Kugler alongside Kevin O'Neill. A tie game, 23 apiece. Does the start surprise you for either of these teams?
You know, I sense this about Creighton's team. They score really well, they're experienced, they know who they are offensively. Last year they were good defensively. Right now they're not convinced that defense is something they really need to be concerned about. They're from Missouri, not Nebraska tonight. They're going to need to be showing they're not the team they need to be defensively.
With those numbers that you saw a moment ago, starting off and then cooling off,
right.
Does that underline for Greg McDermott that his team needs to play defense?
He'll be able to coach him better tomorrow, that's for sure.
Frank Williams for Kansas City to Kruer. Kruer against Zach Hansen, and McDermott the rebound. Oh, McDermott all alone. That's an easy three for Doug McDermott. Can't leave him up there.
That is a great play by Austin Chapman to get to the foul line and find Doug with a little pitch for an easy three.
19 of the Jays' 26 points for Doug McDermott. Johnson will try to answer. The bank has closed for Caleb Johnson after banking in his last one. Left for Manigat. Rebound by Zach Hansen inside. McDermott in the corner. And the rebound and a foul. That'll go on Zach Hansen of the Blue Jays as we take another look at that McDermott three.
Yeah, this is what your point guard should do. He drives the defense down, turns around, shields off the defender, throws it back, gets McDermott for a wide open shot. That's smart basketball.
19 points for Doug McDermott. Had 20 in the opening win over Alcorn State. But in a 107-61 win was not, shall we say, relied upon.
20 minutes.
Yeah, over the final half of that game.
That's a point a minute guy.
And a foul as Chapman was able to penetrate. Got the reach-in called against Caleb Johnson.
That's what Chapman's got to do. He's got to get the ball to the paint either on the pass, the dribble, or they got to get some offensive boards. The more paint touches they get versus this zone, the more easy baskets they're going to get.
Well, that's one of the things Chapman really grew into last year, taking over for the previous point guard, Antoine Young. Very good in the assist category and in the assist-to-turnover ratio, probably more important.
He's solid. He's a good defender. He's really fast, foul line to foul line.
How does he and the rest of that backcourt for Creighton match up with the backcourts that they'll see now in the Big East Conference?
You know, that remains to be seen. I think I think this guy, Devin Brooks, needs to really be a guy that gives them something off the bench because they're going to face great backcourts everywhere. Villanova, Providence. You look all through that league, there's guys that can really play on the perimeter.
McDermott, 8 of 12 from the floor. The rest of the Jays are 3 of 13.
Who's the shooting coach? That's what we want to know.
Washington.
I know Greg coaches Doug.
So you can take the credit.
Absolutely.
Gibbs with the block. Creighton with a 5-0 run to break the tie. Kirksey out on Gibbs. Still 20 to shoot. Plenty of time for the Blue Jays.
They're really doing a good job of pushing them out on the floor.
Chapman. Now with 10 on the shot clock.
Got to go.
Here's McDermott. Chapman, nice fake. Gets closer, can't connect. Rebound off the hands of Zach Hansen and saved in play for the Kangaroos. On the drive, Williams can't find the roll, and it's out of bounds to Creighton.
That looked like one of those European sidesteps. I think he got away with one there. I want to see what Brooks does. His first time in, he looked a little shaky and didn't look comfortable and all that. But he's a guy that, hopefully can run the second unit and help him do some good things.
When you come in from a junior college, oftentimes you're expected to be a scorer and an assist guy and everything at that junior college. What do they need him to do here? Just dish and distribute?
I think he's got to do a lot of things. I think he's got to be a guy that's a get in the lane guy, either score or pass. And he's a guy that really they're going to have to rely on off the bench to do those things.
Gibbs will work his way to the line. Isaiah Zierden also back in off the Jays bench as Grant Gibbs will go to the line. 1 for 2 so far tonight at the stripe for Grant Gibbs, who did not work his way to the free throw line against Alcorn State.
This guy's a great facilitator. You know, he's poised. He's probably 24, so he should be poised. But, I mean, as a 6-year guy, that's what you really need to stabilize your team.
Only player in the nation returning with 300 points, 200 assists, and 145 rebounds last year.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's balance across the board. And
you get him back on July 2nd.
Where you've already started to move on without it. Williams trying to find the range. He cannot. And then tumbling out of bounds. It'll belong to the Kangaroos off of Devin Brooks. We're talking about Grant Gibbs. And, Coach, give us 3 things about Grant.
Grant Gibbs knows where to throw the ball. He's a giver. He's a guy that makes plays. He knows Doug McDermott's the best player, and he gets him the ball. And what he does is he's a guy that when they're not quite right, he gets them together and talks to them and settles them down.
Coach McDermott says he is one of the best leaders he's ever coached. And here he is on the other end, as if on cue, but he's losing that one on a good defensive play by Frank Williams, but a foul.
What I like there is that was a great pass by Brooks. Made the right play. Hit him full stride, he just couldn't finish it.
No foul call. It will just stay with the Blue Jays as Gibbs leaves, grimacing a little bit.
Right here, you're going to see Brooks. He's in the middle of the floor, slows down a little, lets the traffic clear, finds Gibbs.
In the corner to Zierden. And Zierden hits the 3, the freshman. Able to rain down his first long-range jumper.
That's a relief. The other one hit the side of the backboard. So I feel good for him now.
I saw he was getting some coaching from Greg McDermott on the sidelines.
I bet he was. Like, you better make the next one, please.
Aggressively. Aaron Washington. 11-0 Blue Jay run, and that breaks the run on the jumper from Frank Williams.
Kansas City really needed that basket.
Still just a 7-point game, 3:40 until halftime. Devin Brooks. Tough pass a little high for Zierden. But Zierden will drive it all the way in for the layup. Boy, Zierden from outside and then takes it all the way to the rack.
You know, he's a guy that, you know, obviously redshirted last year. Spent his time wisely getting better. He'll be a solid player for him.
Now Washington, little hesitation, got him inside. Offensive rebound and missing from point-blank range, Fred Chapman.
Makes the right play. There's the right play.
Off the no-look from Brooks. Nice pass, nice finish.
Doug McDermott does a great job of making himself available. Unless you've lost a contact, you're going to find him because he gets himself big in the lane.
Kirksey trying to shake Zierden, he couldn't. 15 to shoot. Washington, bodied by Brooks. Good defense by Devin Brooks. 5 on the shot clock. In the corner, it's Johnson. And the rebound to Brooks.
Kansas City's got to be careful this last 3 minutes, not let it get away.
Nice steal for the Kangaroos. They needed that turnover. Blue Jays have struggled a little bit, especially early in this half with turnovers. Now 9 for the first half.
I'm sure Greg's thinking we really want to finish this half well, and then a turnover. You know, it's something that coaches always want. You want to finish the half well.
Kirksey, a little bit of a heat check there over Zierden.
It was.
Now Dingman with Brooks in control at the point. Got a nice screen from McDermott. Good dish inside the hoop and the foul. Zach Hansen able to finish through the contact. And Zierden finishing from the outside for the Creighton Blue Jays, who've opened up a 13-point lead. 17-2 run to open up a 38-25 lead. Kevin Kugler alongside Kevin O'Neill. And Coach, let's talk 3 things you need to know about the new rules changes this year in college basketball.
Well, you know, I think it's going to be tough at first here. They want to create more scoring, so they're going to call hand checking high on the floor and chucking guys in the lane. Everybody will get adjusted to that. Everybody will get adjusted to freedom of movement. Where they've really missed the boat is on the block charge call. They need to put in the NBA semicircle, where if you're in the circle, it's a charge if you're in position. If you're in the circle, it's a block. If you're out of the circle, it's a charge. Easier for the officials, much easier for the players.
Well, the clarity of that rule seems like it would just be so much better for everybody involved.
I think sometimes they get caught up with not wanting to do what the pros are doing. Mm-hmm. Experiment with it. Take it to a couple of the tournaments, those early tournaments. See if it works.
Zach Hansen cannot complete the three-point play, and the rebound inside for Trinity Hall. UMKC getting out-rebounded 25-15 in this first half and shooting now just 27% from the floor. They've gone ice cold, 1 for their last 11, and that breaks that spell. Good penetration.
They need more of that and give up on the three a little bit.
Missed their last 4 from 3 as Dingman hits one from the corner, and the Jays take the 41-27 lead.
Good timeout by Kareem. Wants to make a point with his players. They gave up a transition 3 on a made basket. Unforgivable.
Now this Kansas City program is building a lot of new faces on there, but for the Blue Jays, a lot of familiar faces in that locker room, and that has to give you a big advantage when you have these guys coming back, going into a new conference, seeing new foes. They know what each one's doing on the floor.
Well, the thing that Creighton has top to bottom is winning experience. If your experience has lost games, it's no good. These guys have won. They've won big the last 2 years. They know each other. They know what Greg and his staff want. On the other side, Kareem's in a situation where he's just trying to finally implement, as the season starts, what he wants of his team game in and game out.
When you talk to folks, though, around the Kansas City program, they are really energized by Kareem Richardson.
And they should be.
And the vision he's bringing.
No, and you know what? He's been there. He's been in the big time. He's been to a national championship. Those kinds of things are going to serve them well as they go forward.
Nelson Kirksey will back it out. 18 to shoot, under a minute to go first half. Crewer, long jumper, and Isaac Crewer with the bucket.
That looked pretty good.
A little pressure, Creighton breaks it. Chapman. Good pass in the corner to McDermott. McDermott with the 3 and the foul. A chance for a 4-point play for Doug McDermott.
That's the best job for Creighton of sharing the ball all night long. 3 passes before that one, over the top, wide open. And the unforgivable, don't foul a jump shooter.
How about the first half for Doug McDermott? 24 points in the first half, 4 of 7 from 3.
That's a good half for some teams.
And 25 now for McDermott, who is only being outscored by the Kansas City Kangaroos by 4 points himself. Yeah, he's earned the final 35 seconds on the bench.
Well, I think it's a good sub to get him out of there. Don't get him a foul, don't get him hurt. Let his teammates go ahead and play this last possession.
25 points, 4 rebounds for McDermott as Hall on the drive. He'll work his way to the line, working against Alex Olson, who just came off the bench to substitute for McDermott.
You're going to see here, they're doing a good job of isolating Hall at the top where he can drive right. And he's doing a great job 3 or 4 different times now in the same play of getting to the rim and getting fouled or getting a layup.
7 points, 4 rebounds for Trinity Hall, who had a very nice start to his season, 19 points and 11 boards.
He's a good player. He's going to be a big factor for them once they get in their league play.
Well, Coach said he's got to be big for them. They need him to be there, the senior, one of the leaders.
I'm surprised Greg brought Rogge back in with 2 fouls. I know they're going to the offensive end, but you never know.
Rogge back out there, McDermott out there as well. And the free throw good for Trinity Hall. Now Caleb Johnson returns for the Kangaroos, and Creighton will use it or lose it timeout.
They're going to play for the last shot, obviously. They should. There's no way they should leave any time on the clock. take it down, move the ball, take a shot with about 3 or 4 seconds left, run back so you don't foul on the offensive board. Kangaroos just can't give up an easy basket.
Well, it's been one of those nights, and Creighton's seen these nights before where Doug McDermott has the hot hand and his teammates smart enough to hand it to the senior and let him fire it up there. He's 10 for 15 tonight from the floor.
And you know why that is, Kevin? Because he's a willing guy to give it back to people. If people are open, he passes it. He is always going to make the right play. Tonight he's having to score a ton in the first half, but there'll be games when he's getting double teamed. They know he'll pass to them. That's why they don't have any trouble throwing the ball to him.
So the youngster enjoying some of the servicemen and women that are here tonight on Veterans Day. Omaha is a big military town off at Air Force Base in the Omaha metro area. In fact, the Air Force Base that President Bush came to on 9/11 in Air Force One, the only plane flying that day, flew in and out of Omaha.
We don't have these games without these great men and women.
Chapman as the Jays work for that final shot.
Kansas City man-to-man.
Chapman with 2 seconds forcing it up. Good defense, but he banks it in anyway.
Oh, my.
Isaac Crewer's not sure what's more unfair, the fact that he played the good D and got nothing to show for it, or that Chapman used the bank to get the three.
Actually, Creighton did a terrible job of getting a good shot in 22 seconds. Sometimes bad shots go in too.
They're going to take a look just to make sure that A, it was a three, and B, that it beat the buzzer. As of now, a three-pointer, 48-31. Let's take one more look.
He gets Crewer in the air. If he'd held his ground, he'd have been okay.
No question on either. It is a three. Our three officials have seen enough. They will head to the locker room as you watch that one carom off the glass and give Creighton a 17-point lead at the break. That's the end of the first half here in Omaha with our score, Creighton 48, UMKC 31. Coming up next, our Bill Raftery breaks down the season ahead for the Creighton Bluejays. You're watching Big East basketball on Fox Sports 1. Jays by 17. A special moment here during halftime as U.S. Army Specialist Kyle Foster and his family were awarded a newly renovated 100% mortgage-free home. Congratulations to the Foster family and a heartfelt thank you to all of our veterans and to current men and women serving our country. We thank you for the ability for us to be here tonight and do a basketball game. Without you protecting our freedoms, that just is not going to happen. Alongside Kevin O'Neill, I'm Kevin Kugler. Halftime, and the Jays with a 17-point lead, Coach. And
right.
Doug McDermott has been the key. Well, he's been the key for the Jays for a long time, but he's certainly been the key tonight.
Well, this guy's everything that I thought he was after watching a couple days of practice. He puts the ball on the floor. He makes plays. He's always open. He finds a way to make himself available, makes it easy on his teammates.
It's 25 points on 10 of 15 shooting. 4 for 7 from 3. His last 3 first halves on his home floor, 18 points last year against Wichita State, 18 points in the opening first half against Alcorn State, and now 25 in the first half tonight. Not bad when you get a guy like that to get you off to a hot start. His team off to a hot start tonight with a 17-point lead.
Well, if you look at Creighton, they're shooting 53%. That's mostly him, but the fact that they're only shooting, the Kangaroos are only shooting 31% has given Creighton a chance at a lot of easy baskets.
Blue Jays with the 17-point advantage over the Kansas City Kangaroos from the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. The second half, straight ahead here on Fox Sports 1. Great to have college basketball season back. Great to have the Big East on Fox Sports 1 as Creighton has a 17-point lead as we start the second half. Alongside Kevin O'Neill, I'm Kevin Kugler. Doug McDermott, the story of the first half, 25 points. What do you want to see from each of these teams in this second half?
Well, I want to see Kansas City keep playing the way they're comfortable playing. I mean, whatever the results, if they're going to do well in their lead, they got to keep playing that way. And I want to see Creighton defend like they did the last 5 or 6 minutes of the half, because when they get in the Big East, they better defend.
Leading scorers tonight, we've talked, of course, about Doug McDermott and his night so far, but Austin Chapman with 7, Zierden with 5, Artino and Digman 4 and 3, Trinity Hall with 9 points, Nelson Kirksey with 8, Caleb Johnson with 6, and Martez Harrison, who got into some early foul trouble after getting off to a good start, but the fouls put him on the bench for most of that first half.
Well, that hurt them because he's the guy that kind of makes them run at the point spot. For a freshman, he's pretty good.
Only played 7 minutes, though, in that first half, and Kareem Richardson wants much more out of his young freshman point.
Well, he doesn't have enough weapons over there. I mean, he's in a sword fight with some spoons right now, and what he needs to do is have everybody out there, all hands on deck.
Martino to Gibbs, and now McDermott. McDermott right back to work with the left hand.
That's a great set play. Left-handed jump hook. Wow.
This game has grown so much year in and year out. Post play, perimeter play, you can do it all. Chapman fouled on his way up the floor. Boy, Austin Chapman's not afraid to attack that defense, is he?
Well, and except for maybe one bad decision in the first half, he does make the right decisions. Artino did a great job of holding his ground down there, not fouling, arms straight up.
Grant Gibbs on the inbound to Chapman. Now Gibbs, been quiet tonight, just 2 points up top to McDermott, who's not been quiet.
That was a great read by Doug McDermott. His guy went under the screen, popped back, wide open 3.
30 points for Doug McDermott. Inside off the window, Trinity Hall moves into double figures.
That's about 6 or 7 times they've run that play. They're really going at Doug McDermott one-on-one.
Here's McDermott, nice dish inside to Artino, who's fouled. Now Doug McDermott with 30 points now, including this 3 a moment ago.
Watch, his man's going to go under. He reads it, pops back, wide open 3. Heck of a job.
5 of 8 from the 3-point range tonight for Doug McDermott. 12 of 17 from the floor. Artino a little strong on the free throw attempt. Jays tonight 5 of 9 at the line.
Artino seems to be just, maybe one level of strength off finishing those dunks and one level of strength off of making the right play all the time around the rim.
Kangaroos take a timeout as the Jays have opened up a 20-point lead, 53-33. Now 30 points for Doug McDermott to face the Jays. Well, a lot to celebrate tonight for Creighton fans. A 20-point lead, although I'm not sure that gentleman should be doing that. That's
no, he shouldn't.
That's really not good. Preseason first-team All-Americans. Doug McDermott, of course, right there in the mix with a lot of guys who are going to be going on to the next level.
Those 5 guys are not going to be playing college basketball any longer. They're all going. Whether they're graduating or leaving early, they're all going.
Of course, McDermott and Smith at Louisville doing something that college basketball loves to see. Coming back for their senior year and a chance to get better and a chance to help this game grow.
I'll be honest with you, I think if guys can be first-round picks, they should go. I think you can only have your stock go down. People don't want to hear that, but I think it's true.
McDermott came back for his senior year, much to the delight of the folks in this building here in Omaha. Brewer.
And came back as a walk-on.
Yes. Brewer looking inside against Artino, and Brewer with a nice move. We've seen a couple of nice shots tonight from Brewer.
This guy's going to be all right. He just has to, control himself a little bit and not get in foul trouble.
Chapman for the Blue Jays. 18-point lead for Creighton.
Kansas City's confused whether they're man or zone. Lost their guy.
That's not the guy to lose.
Half guys playing zone, half the guys playing man. Layup.
32 points for Doug McDermott. 12 off of his career high. left baseline. Lost it. May have gotten away with a walk a little bit, and there is a foul call. Well, we talked about Doug McDermott coming back for his senior season. He said, I believe I'm going to play in the NBA, but I have to do it when I feel I'm 100% ready. I feel like I have some unfinished business here at Creighton. I feel like I can be a lot better, and why not do it here where I can have fun for another year?
I can understand some of that because it is more fun. When he goes to the next level, it's going to be a job, and it's not a lot of fun. I just hate to see a guy like that if he gets hurt or if he doesn't do as well as he wants to do. But it's a great choice by him for the Creighton people. Let's see how it does for the NBA.
Well, it's a great test for him, too, in a new league against some new players to see how he can grow his game a little bit more in the Big East.
I think he's a lottery pick.
Artino with the left hand. And Will Artino gives the Jays the 21-point lead.
Creighton's success level could end up being based on how good Artino gets during the year. Can he anchor the middle? Can he be a guy that can be a presence on the defensive boards and do some shot blocking? I'm not sure if he's ready for it right now, but he's going to get a lot of minutes and get better by the Big East.
You say McDermott will be a lottery pick in your opinion. Where does he play at the next level?
He's probably going to have to play a 3 spot, but he can just score. I mean, people are going to, coaches are smart, GMs are smart. They're going to find a way for that guy to play.
Manigat. Wrap around pass to McDermott, who's got 34. What's his weakness, if you've seen one?
Athletic ability and lack of a position at the next level. Who can he guard?
And the 3 is good for Trinity Hall, who's had some nice moments tonight. He has 15. Chapman walking the tightrope to stay in. And there's a foul on Trinity Hall. That is his 3rd. And speaking of 3 things about number 3, Doug McDermott.
Talking about for the next level, great passer, scorer, not just a shooter, and maybe the most important thing for this Creighton team, no ego, just one of the guys. And Greg coaches him harder than he coaches the other guys. And he just fits in. He's just like one of the guys out there hanging out, doesn't even know he's a superstar.
Got to imagine that's an interesting dynamic, father coaching son, and can be a challenge in wrong situations for teams, I would think. Not this one, though.
Well, he should either be the best player or the worst player. That way there's no decision about whether you start him, how much he gets to play. If he's the worst player, it doesn't matter, and obviously this guy's the best player.
Here he is again. Gibbs looking inside Artino and a turnover. Fred Chapman got the steal. Harrison. Oh, what a spike by Will Artino. Coming back after not getting the ball in the post on the other end with a big block.
You know what I liked about what Artino did? He was discouraged he didn't get the ball. Didn't have an opportunity to get that catch in the post and runs back hard and makes the right play. That's a team play. That's a winning play.
Harrison. And there's Artino with a rebound. 3rd board of the night for Artino. Chapman at the elbow. And Artino with the offensive try. No good. Kirksey with a rebound.
5-on-4 again.
Williams the 3. Manigat got out there and defended. Now McDermott. And had it picked out of his hands by Kirksey, and a foul's called on Nelson Kirksey. His 3rd personal foul. And a timeout on the floor. 15:59 remaining in this second half. We've talked a lot about the Creighton offense tonight. How about a little Creighton defense from the big man Will Artino running the floor, and the spike with some authority. A 20-point lead. Creighton 59, Kansas City 39, 15:59 remaining in the second half in Omaha. This Wednesday on an all-new The Ultimate Fighter, tensions are running high and the bad blood boils over. It's more than a fight for the finals, it's personal. The Ultimate Fighter, all new Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern only on Fox Sports 1. 20-point lead for the Jays, and I'm telling you, you're going to want that cowbell. 15:59 to go in this second half. A lot of happy folks in blue here at the CenturyLink Center.
Over 17,000 of them, almost every game.
On the attendance has spiked. It was good before, ever since they've opened this building years ago, but as the Jays move into the Big East this year, the attention and the interest has driven those tickets through the roof.
It's a great building.
Chapman, fade away at the free throw line with the shot clock winding down. Here's Raggi inside, and it's out of bounds off of the Kangaroos.
It'll be interesting to see what Creighton does when they got a full clock, out of bounds under. I'd like to see Raggi get a couple shots here. I'd like to see Gibbs get a couple shots. Just to make them have a good home court opener here.
Raggi without a point tonight. He got into that real quick foul trouble in the first half and really didn't see the floor. The three is good for Jahens Managa, and a 62-39 lead.
They caught the Kansas City Kangaroos sleeping on that one. Just threw it right behind his head for a wide open three.
Kirksey blocked by Gibbs. Chapman now will push. Managa again down the baseline, and a blocking foul is called. Well, this is that play a moment ago that Jahens Managa hit.
Kansas City player gets caught sleeping, throws it right behind his head, wide open three. That's a great pass. Great recognition.
And a teachable moment for Kareem Richardson the next time he gets his team
Correct.
on the court.
Well, he was talking to him about that today. He said that if you fall asleep, they'll throw to the weak side corner, and they did.
Real good for Managa. And when you're building a program, and I know you've done this before, there are a lot of those teachable moments.
Well, you know you're going to go through a certain amount of things. You're going to go through some bad play early in the season. You're going to go through times where guys are a little bit down because they're losing more than they want to. You just have to keep forging ahead and trying to get better every single day.
4 fouls on Nelson Kirksey. He had 4 in 22 minutes on Friday. And that's a fine line you walk with a system like Louisville's and now UMKC's is you've got to find those guys who can play that style without committing the fouls.
It's kind of the old press without fouling, which doesn't go together very well.
No, it doesn't. Especially when you're just learning that system.
No.
Burke backs it out to Johnson. Johnson's hit a couple from outside tonight, including one off the bank.
This is maybe Creighton's best defensive possession in the half court.
7 to shoot. No good looks at all for the Kangaroos. Washington trying to force it. And a wild shot out of bounds off of UMKC.
Creighton was really together on that. They were really playing hard. Right here, they fight over top of the screen. There's a lot of talk going on. Switch it right there toward the end of the clock. Drive on the baseline. Tough play to make.
It's got to be encouraging for Greg McDermott. His team's up 25, and they're defending like that.
They're going to get there. They aren't quite there yet.
Brooks inside off the miss by McDermott, and the rebound to Kruger. Harrison trying to attack, and Harrison gets the bucket and the foul. Well, that's what they missed from Martez Harrison when he was on the bench in the first half with foul trouble.
Well, he's obviously a key to their team. To me, that's that one I'd like to see call the charge still, but it's not. You know, maybe he's moving a little bit, but he takes it pretty much on the chest. He's outside the arc. I don't know. I think the charge is going to go out of the college game with the new rule. I really do.
Which is going to frustrate a guy like that in Jahens Managa because he's led the team in charges taken the last 3 years. It's a big part of his defensive prowess out there for the Jays.
The way the rules are set up, they're rewarding the offense and punishing the defense. I'll tell you the best way you want to get scoring to go up, make the rim 1 inch bigger all the way around. That'll make scoring go up.
A lot. Raggi can't connect on the 3. Rebound Brooks. There's McDermott again, and McDermott blocked by Caleb Johnson.
That's a great pass by Brooks.
Martez Harrison now to Johnson.
Right now, Kareem Richardson just wants his team to fight through this and keep playing.
Harrison, 15 to shoot. Jump stop by Harrison, and he got the roll. He's he's got some game, and they are really excited about that young man.
They should be. Good, solid possession. Got in the paint 2 different times and got an easy basket.
Speaking of some game, Brooks with a nice penetration there, just couldn't get the roll. Here comes Washington driving against McDermott. And the rebound, Manigat.
That was poor judgment.
Nice recovery, though, by John Burke.
They're playing hard. They really are. Which is a great sign for them going forward.
Long 2, good for Martez Harrison. He's into double figures with 10. 6 points in the last 3 minutes for Harrison.
I don't think they're going to back away from their style at all. They're just going to keep playing.
6-0 run for UMKC, broken there by the Brooks bucket. First points of the night for Devin Brooks.
Once Brooks really gets it, he's going to really help their team. He can do things a lot of their guys can't.
And the scoop by John Burke, the answer for the Kangaroos.
Seems like basket trade time. You guys get one, we'll get one.
Here's McDermott, he'll get more. 36 for McDermott, and a chance at one more at the line.
And being the kind of free throw shooter he is, it's almost guaranteed. It's a heck of a ball reversal and a great inside stick from the top.
Tough task for John Burke down low.
Look how quick he gets it off his hands. He feels the contact, boom, off his hands, right to the basket.
McDermott, 4 for 5 in the first game at the line, 1 for 1 tonight. Look at that stat line. 36 points, 6 rebounds.
And there's 12 minutes left.
He sits down right now. Will we see him again?
Of course you're going to see him again. he just sat him down before the 12-minute break to get him rested. He's coming back. If I was Greg, I'd play him every minute I could unless I was worried about getting hurt. It must be a joy to coach your own son and have him be that good.
Williams 3 off, rebound by Hansen. Brooks to push. Here's Raggi for 3. Ethan Raggi with his first made bucket of the night.
The right play by Devin Brooks. He's played much better in the second half.
10th made 3 for the Blue Jays. They're 10 of 20 from three-point range. Here's Kruger. The big man shoots the 3, but he does not connect. And it'll belong to the Creighton Bluejays. Timeout on the floor, 11:35 remaining in this second half. The first half belonged to Doug McDermott. The second half belongs to Doug McDermott. 37 points for Doug McDermott and a 72-47 lead. Kevin Kugler, Kevin O'Neill, Creighton with a 72-47 lead with 11:35 remaining in the first half, and the Jays entering the Big East for the first time along with Butler and Xavier. And there's the preseason poll. Creighton picked 3rd in the preseason. Do you agree?
I think they'll finish in the top 3 or 4. Who knows where? I think Providence can be a surprise team in this league. I really do. I like their team. Bryce Cotton's a heck of a player. Ed Cooley's doing a great job. What's going to have to happen, if they want to get 6 in the future, 5, 6 all the time, got to play great non-conference games. Those are going to be important things.
Well, the Jays have some real interesting games coming up starting this weekend where they go on the road to play St. Joe's. Never an easy place to play and win.
And that's going to be a hard game. That's a challenging game. St. Joe's is always tough at home.
Devin Brooks. Creighton with the 72-47 lead, 11:20 to go. And foul's going to be called on Ethan Raggi. That'll be his 3rd.
Wow. I'm with you, Ethan. I'm not sure I saw that. He looked a little baffled, didn't he?
He looked more than a little baffled, as did his head coach, Greg McDermott.
So did Greg. I'm baffled.
Williams around a Hall screen. Here's Burke. Burke inside against Dingman, backs it out to Kruger. Kruger got the offensive rebound and the putback for Isaac Kruger.
For a guy just playing his 2nd game and having all kinds of foul trouble, he's doing a pretty good job.
6 points, 5 rebounds for Kruger. The three no good. Offensive rebound for Brooks. Rogge, open three, a little strong. And the rebound to John Burke.
3 offensive rebounds for Brooks and 2 great passes on 1 play.
All for 3. Zierden able to corral the rebound for the Jays. Brooks the push, and off the fingertips of Zach Hansen.
You know, I think he probably liked that one back. I think as soon as he threw it, he knew he threw it behind him. That was tough. But the good thing is a guy like Hansen as a freshman is running the court so hard, putting pressure on the defense.
Well, another guy they are very excited about, Coach McDermott saying that he's got loads of potential, the size and the strength that they want to see moving forward.
Yeah, and he's got a great work ethic. You know, he was early to practice both days I was there, stayed late. Their staff does a great job of individual work with these guys.
Well, and Hansen's one of those guys that if you'd see him spend a lot of time in the gym continuing to work on that shot, he's going to be able to hurt you all over the floor in the coming years for the Jays.
And get in the weight room, get bigger and stronger.
Kirksey. Now Burke on the penetration. Rebound inside and put back in by Fred Chapman. That's what Chapman does. He's a rebounder first and then figures out ways to score. And then a foul is called. Aaron Washington with the reach in, his second personal foul. And on the other end, UMKC moments ago.
They're doing a pretty good job. You know, they're getting the offensive board. Right here, Chapman does a good job of a 2-hand catch, doesn't bring it down, keeps it high, and goes right back over the defense.
Back in comes Caleb Johnson, and Trinity Hall will sit down. He's got 3 fouls, 15 points, 4 rebounds.
He's going to be big for them, especially when they get to league play. He's a veteran they can really count on.
Brooks can't connect on the free throw. 72-51, Creighton by 21 points. Here's Kirksey on the drive, and Kirksey with the lay-in for UMKC.
The thing I like about UMKC, there's not any quit in them whatsoever. Here comes their front line back in, the first teamers.
Here's Rogge trying the 3 again and hitting.
They have so many guys that are dribble, pass, shoot guys.
No question.
So many players that can make multiple things happen on offense.
Aaron Washington, a walk-on who came in last January, played in 17 games and moved into the starting lineup last year for UMKC. We've seen a lot of him tonight as Kirksey's 3 a little strong and Brooks the rebound. Another board for Brooks, that's 7 tonight.
He's got a knack for the ball.
Dingman the pull-up of the foul. Now Ethan Rogge, 3rd in the Missouri Valley Conference a year ago in 3s, and when he has his range, he's a dead shot.
Brooks did a good job of dragging 2 guys off right here. Throws back to Rogge, knows 2 guys are playing him. Wide open 3.
Hit almost 45% of his 3s last year.
He can nail it. I watched him shooting the other day. Corner jumpers they're a layup for him.
Here comes America's best-known walk-on, Doug McDermott, back onto the floor.
That's a good one. I'm surprised Greg doesn't have him living at home so he can get the per diem, too.
Dingman cannot hit. And the Roos will bring it back up.
Right now, I think Greg McDermott probably wants to see his team play a real good 3 or 4 minutes. He's got most of his starters back in there on the front line. See if they can end this thing.
Dish inside, cannot finish down low. Chapman got it back, still couldn't finish. Tipped up again, no good, and finally Artino able to clear it away for the Jays.
They got numbers. Good job of getting back.
Dingman in the corner. And Dingman rolls home the 3.
Got all the way back, took away the paint, didn't recover to the 3. Great look by Chapman.
78-53, 25-point advantage for Creighton. 8 assists now for Chapman as Harrison tries the 3. Cannot hit it. Artino with the rebound. Strong board by Artino, his 6th.
Good traffic rebound.
McDermott trying to get position against
calling hard
Kirksey.
for it, isn't he?
He is. Now going to work. Driving on Kirksey. And he couldn't get it. Then McDermott thrown down. And the foul is called. This will go on Chapman. And McDermott's going to get some free throws when we return. 78-53. Creighton comfortably in front of UMKC. Greg McDermott and Doug McDermott. The McDermott crew leading the Jays to a 25-point advantage. 78-53, Creighton with the comfortable advantage over Kansas City. 7:16 remaining in the second half. Alongside Kevin O'Neill, I'm Kevin Kugler. And the Korver family with a connection to both of these schools. Of course, Kyle Korver, Creighton alum, has gone down as one of the all-time greats in Creighton history. His brother, Kirk Korver, right there on the UMKC bench. Take you back to 2002. Jays win the championship. Kirk Korver on the back of Kyle Korver. They will not be reenacting that picture anytime soon because Kirk Korver has grown to be 6'7". And Kyle Korver's making too much money in the NBA to carry his brother around on his back.
Kyle's had one heck of a career.
In fact, he hit a three-pointer. I know that'll surprise everybody tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. He's hit at least 1 3 in 80 straight games, the second longest streak in NBA history.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That's 80 straight games. That's hard to even play 80 straight games.
Let alone hit the 3,
Yes.
at least 1, and usually in Kyle's case, multiple.
Yeah.
Manigat rolls it to McDermott.
Double team. Get out of his hands.
Chapman, the little floater, and Chapman gets it to fall.
Doug McDermott did the right thing there. Took on the double team, dribbled it up, got the ball reversed. Easy layup on the other side.
Kirksey able to keep his dribble alive. And stay with UMKC.
The game's over. Everybody knows it.
Yep.
You know, everybody watching. The important thing for both coaches now is that the players that are playing the last 6:32 do the best they can to do what they're supposed to on both ends.
There's Washington with Johnson for 3. And the rebound by Manigat. Manigat tonight with 4 boards. The 3 all alone, no good. Rebound by Kirksey inside for the Kangaroos. Nice dish to Johnson, and Johnson gets 2. You've talked about it. They are a team that is continuing to play hard and try to execute their stuff.
The one thing I'll say about them, they have bought in to what Kareem Richardson wants them to do. And you can't ask for more of a team. Obviously, they don't have the ability with some of the injuries and the fact some guys are sitting out to beat Creighton, but they're doing the right things by their coach.
Rotating
Great
around to
movement.
Chapman. And Chapman hits the
Great
3.
extra pass. Zerden gave up a good shot. Got Chapman a better one.
Jays tonight have hit 13 threes. Inside, and Crewer able to finish it off.
Crewer's just happy he's still in the game.
2 fouls tonight for Crewer and 8 points. McDermott and Crewer, good defense there, held his ground.
You know, he's a big guy. He's strong. He didn't give anything easy. No ground.
Quick jumper by Frank Williams. 5 minutes to play in Omaha. Manigat. McDermott alone for 3. And the rebound by Washington.
I think Creighton's doing a good job of moving the ball. Maybe the best they've done all night, getting open looks. Not making a ton of them right now, but doing a good job of moving the ball.
Creighton shooting 44% in the second half, and the 3 rains down for UMKC. And the Kangaroos back within 21.
They're fighting.
Chapman the fadeaway. Wild shot, Crewer the rebound. Oh, it got a little fancy there to Kirksey, and he turns it over. Chapman, no look pass to Zierden, got the bucket and the foul.
Again, he's 3 on 2. He does a good job of finding the right guy. A little out of control right here by Kansas City. Looks the guy off, 3-point play. Nice left-handed finish right here by Zierden. Took the ball right through the contact.
Dingman in, Brooks back in, Ethan Rogge back in, Manigat leaves, Chapman leaves, McDermott leaves.
Well, you want to avoid injury. The game is over. Now what Greg's looking for, he wants these guys to play the right way down the stretch. It's a great chance for Brooks to get some minutes, Dingman to get some minutes.
This is where you develop your depth.
It is.
Because in conference play, you're going to need more than Doug McDermott.
You might have injuries, you might have illness, you might have, guys in foul trouble. If you're deep and your bench can give you something, especially in January, February, and March, it's important.
Trinity Hall. The fadeaway by Hall. Wild shot. Rogge the rebound. Brooks. Zierden the pull-up. Looking for a better shot, and he found it.
Great job of getting in the paint. Ball faked the defender off, took it straight into the paint, went off 2 feet. Perfect 12-foot jumper.
10 points now for Isaiah Zierden. And 5 in the opener. Here's Williams. Long 2 for Frank Williams, who's got 9. Dingman. Brooks, the offensive rebound and the putback.
I think it might be his 4th offensive rebound, am I correct?
8 total boards tonight for Brooks.
Pretty good in limited minutes.
4 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. Not the scoring he had in the opener, but he's certainly been a contributor all around. And the foul is called. 2 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in the second half. The Creighton Bluejays about to go 2-0 on the season, in control at home, 90-64 the lead. Now Creighton band celebrating what looks to be the second win of the season for the Creighton Bluejays, in control with a 90-64 lead over the Kansas City Kangaroos. Tonight on Fox Sports 1, get in the ring with Monday Night Fights as we bring you a full card of hard-hitting action, including a bout between junior welterweight southpaws Fidel Maldonado and Luis Ramos. Don't miss Monday Night Fights tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. $10 o'clock Eastern for Monday Night Fights. 9 o'clock Central Time. We're in the Central Time Zone, so we're all about us right now. And a foul over the back on Chandler Livingston. Both teams clearing the benches right now. Dingman's still out there for the Blue Jays, as is Brooks, but Ross Farini in. And to the free throw line, Alex Olson shooting 2. Also in, Mobile Luaga Ogini.
Great job.
All weekend, been working on that.
Me too.
Yes, but now that I've said it, you'll just call him Mo.
Or O'Guinea. I actually like him as a player. He's a walk-on. He's going to be a doctor. Probably too smart for basketball. He'll make a lot of money being a doctor if he doesn't make it playing basketball.
Crewer with the jumper, and he hits. What a nice night and some good moments for Crewer. 10 points, 7 rebounds.
I think he was pretty frustrated their first 2 games. So for him to, as a freshman, have this kind of night on the road at Creighton, it's pretty good.
Inside Ogini. And Ogini off the window. Nice little move by Ogini inside.
That was a heck of a move. Put it down on the floor one time, took it middle, back over his left shoulder.
On the drive, Martez Harrison.
Great execution.
He's going to be a spark plug for them. When they get into the WAC, he's going to play some big games.
He's going to have a good career, too.
Brooks trying to fight for that basketball. Bodies all over the place as it's scooped up by the Kangaroos.
I love at this point in the game, see 3 Kansas City players on the floor going after the ball. That tells you what kind of job Kareem Richardson's doing with his team.
Williams, the long 2, and it's good. A lot of ball movement there for the Kangaroos to find that shot.
Yeah, they're executing. They miss. They're not quite there yet.
Olsen on the drive to the basket. And the rebound inside for Kruger. Kruger getting close to a double-double, probably going to run out of time on the rebounding end. Nice wrapper around reverse, but he can't get it in. Martez Harrison. Brooks the other way for Creighton.
He's got something to his game, Martell.
And out of bounds off of the Kangaroos and Harrison.
It's tough. He dug in right there. Almost got a steal.
43.2 seconds remaining. Dingman. Creighton getting ready for their first road trip of the year coming up this weekend where they take on St. Joe's.
This Creighton team doesn't take a lot of bad shots. They know their limitations as players. They play off each other. They realize that Doug McDermott's their best player. They got some other veterans that understand each other and how to play. They don't make a lot of mistakes. You're going to have to beat them.
Free throw good for Farini. Doug McDermott's night is done, as you might imagine. 28.4 seconds to go, and the Creighton Bluejays going to be 2-0 to start the season.
Always good to get early wins under your belt.
Here's Burke on the drive. Burke again, staying with it, and O'Guinee with the rebound for the Blue Jays. Well, it had been since 1966 that the Jays had 100 points in back-to-back games. They're going to fall just short tonight, but a resounding win nonetheless. 96-70, Creighton with the victory over Missouri, Kansas City. And our Land Rover player of the game tonight, 3 guesses. Well, you don't get any. It's Doug McDermott.
That's a shock, huh?
It's the easiest call of the year. Doug McDermott, 37 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of 10 from 3. Doug McDermott, our Land Rover player of the game. And a strong night for McDermott usually leads to a strong night for the Creighton Blue Jays, and it certainly did tonight. Creighton with the victory, 96-70. More to come from CenturyLink Center in Omaha in a moment on Fox Sports 1. 6-70, the Creighton Blue Jays now 2-0 on the season. Kevin Kugler with Kevin O'Neill, joined by our Land Rover player of the game, Doug McDermott. 37 points tonight, 15 of 25 from the floor, 7 rebounds. What pleased you most about your night?
You know, I just thought I got in a rhythm early, and my really unselfish teammates did a good job of finding me. And I wasn't trying to. I was being patient with everything they were giving me, and you know, they're in that zone first. So I just tried to make the simple plays, and it worked out.
What did you guys improve on as a team from game 1 to game 2?
You know, I thought we did a lot better job of just being patient, slowing down a little bit, and just doing what we do, and that's run the floor. I thought we rebounded it great, and just did a very smart job in the second half of not fouling so much.
Doug, you're obviously one of the best players in the country and by far the best player on your team. I got to congratulate you on having no ego, being a great teammate, a willing passer. You are what college basketball needs to be about, and your teammates appreciate it, and I think a lot of people that watch you play appreciate it. What makes you so much one of the guys?
You know, I am one of the guys. We're all a big family, and that's the main reason I wanted to come back here, just because it's so exciting time in our program. These fans are great, and just no one treats me different here. So I'm just one of the guys, and I'm going to keep it that way.
What's great is you look like your mom and not your dad too. That's a real plus. I mean,
yeah.
Thank goodness, huh?
I got her her athleticism too. Not saying it's much.
You guys have your first road test of the season this coming weekend. A very tough place to play against St. Joe's, a team I know you've seen before. What's the biggest challenge coming up this weekend?
You know, they're really athletic. They got a lot of guys returning as well, and you know, we played there 2 years ago and lost. So we have that in the back of our mind. We're gonna have to be extremely focused. It's a small gym. They get after you. There's student sections right behind you. So we got to be ready for it.
What are you most excited about in this Big East challenge for your team this year? What's the thing that gets you going every day thinking about conference play?
You know, just thinking of the Garden, you know, playing there for the conference tournament, playing against these big-time programs. You know, we haven't seen that. Omaha hasn't seen that. And, you know, we feel like we have a good enough team to compete in it this year. So that's what's keeping me going, and I'm really excited to travel to these new places.
Doug McDermott, 37 points tonight, 7 rebounds. Congratulations on a tremendous night. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Doug McDermott tonight. What a night he had, and what a night for his team. A 96-70 victory tonight for the Creighton Bluejays over the Missouri-Kansas City Kangaroos. Creighton now 2-0 on this young season as they head to St. Joseph's this weekend. For my partner Kevin O'Neill and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Kugler saying good night from Omaha. Tomorrow night on Fox Sports 1, it's a Big East Hoops doubleheader in Game 1. Grambling State takes on Big East preseason favorite Marquette. Then in Game 2, Tennessee takes to the floor against Xavier. Action tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on Fox Sports 1. Once again, our final score tonight, the Creighton Bluejays now 2-0 with a